A huge pendulum once snapped in half with dozens of people still strapped in. What the camera caught next is something you would never believe. These are 6 most disturbing theme park accidents ever recorded. Saudi pendulum. It all started in January 2025 at Green Mountain in Taif, Saudi Arabia. The ever-so-popular 360 big pendulum was known for its ability to pack riders, swing back and forth in big arcs, and even make your stomach drop in matters of seconds. It was a ride that you enjoyed and screamed in excitement. As the fear gets higher and higher, you also swing higher, making it a recipe for disaster for people with weak hearts. But back in January 2025, the structure failed. Video footage was already being captured by bystanders, and it shows the exact moment, while the ride was still in motion, its massive arm that was designed to hold tons of waste while swinging at high speed just gave up. The ride didn't even stop, but it genuinely collapsed. You can even hear the sounds of people screaming. Immediately, people on the ground started running toward the wreckage as the ride came crashing down. Riders were still strapped in their seats, and the chaos was absolutely insane. Some people got lifelong injuries, like having their legs amputated. Multiple people were injured in the collapse, and emergency responders rushed to the scene, but the damage was already done. The footage circulating across social media shows the reality of what happens when amusement ride engineering fails catastrophically. What makes this incident even more disturbing is that the pendulum ride is supposed to be straightforward mechanically, and it isn't supposed to fail like that. This swing back and forth using hydraulics or motors, and the fact that the main support structure completely failed shows us serious maintenance neglect, design flaws, or mental fatigue. This video remains one of the most bone-chilling amusement accident clips ever recorded in history because it captures the exact moment, not the aftermath or the rescue, but the actual structural failure while the ride was fully operating. This isn't even close to what happened to the Discovery ride in India back in 2019. Subscribe now because this is about to get wild. Discovery Ride India. Carriage amusement park in Gujarat, India, is one of the highest volume when it comes to people. Here, another pendulum ride called Discovery was operating normally when surveillance cameras and bystanders' phones caught something that looked impossible until you saw it with your own eyes. The ride simply snapped in half, but it wasn't simple at all. Discovery rides work similarly to the Saudi pendulum, which has a rotating arm with seats attached that swing in increasingly larger arcs, making you feel the intensity. In Ahmedabad, India, that day, the structure of that ride felt so catastrophic that a section of the arm literally broke off and crashed down while the riders were still attached. The footage shows people watching in horror because just moments ago, it was spinning and swinging normally, and suddenly it broke apart. The sound of metal snapping is also audible even over the screaming. Riders were thrown around violently as the section they were in lost complete support. What's even more disturbing is that one moment it was functioning, and the next moment it was in pieces. The aftermath is that multiple injuries were reported, and the footage spread internationally because it showed something most people assumed was impossible. It was a major amusement park that literally saw its ride break in half during operation. The video has also become the center point of discussion about amusement park safety and even inspection standards, which happen less at the smaller regional parks. This isn't even the end because a similar accident happened before the Ahmedabad incident. It happened in Chennai, Bangalore, and now Ahmedabad. Do you think it has everything to do with authorities overlooking safety measures? Let us know in the comments down below. FEAR malfunction.
Been like that for like already 2 to 3 minutes. I feel bad for them because all the power is shut off on it too, right? All right, update. They're still up there. It's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and they've just been hanging up there this whole time. They just said the park is closed. Jesus Christ. Gee, they just said
But nothing is as horrifying as a ride that leaves you hanging. It happened in June 2024, when Oaks Amusement Park in Portland, Oregon, saw one of the most terrifying attractions that flipped riders completely upside down repeatedly. It stopped working at the absolute worst moment, and it was the Atmosphere ride. With riders completely inverted, hanging upside down, they were unable to move. Bystanders' video captured the scene as dozens of those riders were dangled upside down from their seats, with blood rushing to their heads, unable to do anything but wait for the rescue crews to figure out how to safely get them down. This wasn't even a quick technical glitch that was resolved in minutes, but riders were stuck for an extended period of time while emergency responders scrambled to develop a safety extraction plan. The video shows people on the ground watching helplessly as their friends, family members, or loved ones hang in the air. Some riders appeared to be trying to shift their body weight towards this position in order to relieve pressure. But the safety harnesses were designed to keep them secure during the ride's normal flipping motion, and now they kept them locked in the worst possible position. The thing that makes this incident more disturbing is the psychological terror that they had to go through. Just imagine being completely powerless, suspended in the air, not knowing when the help will arrive or whether you will get down safely or not. Eventually, SQ crews brought in specialized equipment to carefully lower each rider individually. The process took hours, and medical personnel evaluated everyone for injuries related to this inversion. For about 26 minutes, the ride was suspended upside down, and it was painful for everyone just being there. This included potential blood pressure issues and strain injuries from this awkward position. Just look at the footage, and you will see how horrifying it actually was. The Zipper Carriage at Family Fun Day, LA.
Alarming new video of a ride that malfunctioned at a school carnival last night in the Pico Union neighborhood. You can see some of the carriages nearly fully detaching, falling and slamming into one another on a ride commonly known as the Zipper. One witness commented some of the riders were trapped for up to an hour, but somehow, after seeing that video, no injuries have been reported. This was part of Bishop Conady, Our Lady of Loretto High School's Family Fun Day.
Perhaps the most chilling of them all is the Zipper Carriage at a Family Fun Day event in a Los Angeles area high school. The Zipper is one of those classic carnival rides where you're locked in a small cage that spins independently while the whole arm rotates. It was operating perfectly when something went horrifically wrong. One of the carriages snapped off completely from its main arm. Eyewitness videos captured by someone at the event show that the carriage was breaking free and slammed into another cage with a horrifying force. The metal-on-metal impact was absurd, and it is visible while being audible in the footage as well. Riders inside both carriages were thrown around violently by the collision. But here is where it gets even worse. After the initial impact, the damaged carriages didn't just stop. They continued moving as part of the ride's momentum, creating additional damage. The video shows people panicking on the ground trying to figure out how to stop the ride, while the riders inside the damaged carriages were screaming for their lives. The ride operators had difficulty immediately stopping the attraction, meaning that the damaged carriages kept moving through additional rotations before finally coming to rest. Emergency responders faced a complex issue here because they couldn't just open the cages and pull people out since the structural damage meant the carriage might collapse or fall if disturbed. Multiple people were injured by being thrown around in the cage during those rotations, but ultimately they were rescued. If you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe to the channel because we're about to go sicko mode with the next one. Columbus Swing. It happened in March 2026 in India, where a traditional Columbus swing ride, also called the Dragon Boat or Pirate Ship, was full of riders swinging back and forth when the support structure failed completely. According to the video, we see the moment the ride's main support tower broke, causing the entire swing to drop violently on one side. The sound of metal snapping and tearing is audible and horrifying, and when you layer it up with the noise of the crowd, it becomes catastrophically difficult to even watch. The swing arm, which moments before was smoothly arching through the air, suddenly had nothing holding on one end. The footage shows riders clinging to the boat as it came crashing down at an awkward angle. Dust and debris were flying everywhere as the structure hit the ground, and people on the ride were thrown violently by the sudden drop and the tilted angle of the boat. The crowd's reaction was also extreme. For a split second, nobody moved and everyone was processing what had just happened. Then suddenly, dozens of people were running towards the collapsed ride from all directions. Some of them were trying to help, while others were fleeing from the additional collapse damage. The video shows riders attempting to climb out of the tilted boat while bystanders helped them stabilize the structure. Some riders appeared injured, unable to move without any assistance, and the chaos of the immediate aftermath spoke for itself. People were shouting and children were crying, and the whole support structure was lying at an impossible angle, which created a scene that is difficult to watch. Columbus swing rides are common at fairs and small amusement parks throughout India and even other countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan. They are relatively simple mechanically, so nobody expected it to fail either. But this incident proved that even simple rides can fail catastrophically when maintenance is not at its all-time best. Thunder River
hit the empty raft and flipped. 2 of the victims were flung out of the raft into the water, while the 2 others were trapped under the raft.
This one happened in Queensland, Australia, back in October 2016, when one of the most popular rides, called the Thunder River Rapids Ride, failed completely. It was a family-friendly water attraction that operated safely for decades, but became the site of one of the most horrifying theme park disasters in history. 4 people died when their raft flipped on a conveyor belt system that was designed to move the board uphill. The raft collided with another that had stopped, causing it to flip vertically, and 2 riders were ejected and survived. However, 4 others, including 2 women and their adult children, were strapped as the conveyor belt continued running and pulled them closer into the machinery. It was catastrophic and immediate. The ride's emergency system stopped, and park store staff were left traumatized. The authorities later discovered that this ride had a history of failing again and again, yet it was completely unaddressed, and the safety systems also failed to provide that safety. Dreamworld never fully recovered, and attendance here plummeted. The Thunder River Rapids ride was also permanently demolished. This tragedy led to complete changes in the Australian theme park regulation, but the lives could never be recovered. This incident wasn't really caught on publicly released video, but an extensive documentary coverage was done, including investigation footage and courtroom evidence that still exists to this date. It shows the mechanical failures and corporate negligence that killed 4 people who simply wanted to have fun and even paid for the ride. These were 6 most disturbing theme park accidents ever recorded. If you want to see more videos like these, subscribe to the channel today because we uncover the deepest, darkest sides of the world.